welcome to the Knitting Project. My name is Sharon. I'm coming to you from Surrey in the UK, where I live with my family and my animals. Today is Saturday the 30th of September 2025 and this is episode 193. Welcome if you are a new viewer, welcome back if you're a returning viewer. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is my podcast all about my crafty week. And this week is all about the finished objects. I've only really got 2 whips and one of those is a sewing whip. So I'm kind of lacking in whips. However, I have got some finished objects and I'm going to start with the elephant in the room because I'm wearing it. I finished my vest. So this is a pattern by My Favourite Things. It's called Vest Number 2 Spring. I have changed the neck and the arm ribbing. I've made it longer. I've made it much longer, in fact, and I've done a twisted rib. I've done the same on the bottom hem as well. That's also a twisted rib. So these bits are different, but the rest of it is the pattern. And I've used Elderflower Stitches DK. I've used 3 different skeins and I used the entirety of the yarn. I just had a few little bits. I don't know whether I've still got them on my desk from last night, but I don't think I have. I just had a few little bits left over. I had, in fact, I didn't quite have enough to go round my last row. So I had to stop and then start casting off. Otherwise I wasn't going to have enough to cast off. And I ended up with about that much left. So I was playing a little bit of yarn chicken last night, but I won. So I'll take that as a win, quite literally. If you're new here, puns like that happen all the time. They're normally unintentional and I apologise. But yes, I'm very pleased with this. I'm going to stand up so you can see it. And yeah, it's a nice layering piece today. It's dull and grey. It does feel a little bit, there's a little bit of a nip in the air, but it's not really a nip. It's just not warm. It's not like you're like, oh, that's a bit chilly. It's just like, oh, that's not as warm as normal. So this is a nice layering piece, but let me stand up so you can see it. I haven't done it the longest. It is quite cropped, and that's only turned up because I'm sitting down. I haven't blocked it, to be fair. I wanted to pop it on so that you could see it, but that's the front. So this was one yarn, then it went into this yarn, and then it went into this bottom yarn, and the neck and the arms have done the same. So they've got a bit of the green on, a bit of the rainbow, and then they're cast off in this purple yarn. So let me turn around. Hopefully you can see the back. It is quite low down. I would have possibly done it a bit shorter if I'd realised how long. So that doesn't look that long on the needles, but I probably would have stopped it about there, so it hit me there on my waist. But lesson learned, I'll do that next time. It looked like it would be like about that much, and then I was doing the ribbing, which looked ridiculous, but in actual fact that is what quite literally would have fit me if I'd done it there. So it's basically do the arms and then stop. But never mind, I like it. It's very warm and I really like how it's turned out. Luckily, I don't mind wearing wacky colours. I don't mean the colours themselves are wacky. They're just possibly a bit wacky as to how I put them together. I did kind of fade into them, but you really can't see the fade. It's not as obvious with the in real life as it is on the camera for the splits, because you can see a bit more of the fade in real life, but on camera it doesn't really do it justice. But yes, I did fade into that one. I did fade into that one, but as I said, you can't really see it on the camera. It's quite a stark contrast, which it's not in real life. So that took me a lot longer than it should have done. It should be quite a quick make. As you know, I am a squirrel and I very rarely finish anything. She says, well, it's all finished objects. I do finish things. I do. It just takes me a little while to get to finishing it, shall we say. I think I'm being a bit unfair on myself. I do finish things. I've finished that Sweet Shop blanket. I finished the anthology throw. I finished this, and I've got three other finished objects. So admittedly, one of them is tiny. But this was started. I have got its stats in here. I do not have its finished object photos yet because I've not done that. But let me have a look, see when I finished this, started this. Have I put it in here? Bear with me. 28th of the 3rd. So I started it in March. That's really bad, isn't it? So this is my little book of when I started and finished things. And then in the back it's got some little, oh, that would be a spoiler. Don't show that one. It's got some little finished object photos. They're just very basic. I've got my big knitting journal that I can put them in. I haven't done it. Whether I will or not, jury's out. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going to replace it. I often swap and change my journals around, so who knows. Got some decaffeinated coffee. So that's my first one. My second one comes in a little pile of loveliness. Kind of matching, a little pile of loveliness, and this is my dishcloth for September. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure if you saw the August one, because obviously I didn't podcast in August, so that's August and September. I have done them. So this yarn is Hello Yarn. I got it from Amazon. It's a 25-gram ball and it's 100% cotton, and the pattern is the Wondrous dishcloth pattern by Jules of So Sweet Violet. And I'm pleased to announce that by dishcloth number 9 I finally learnt the patterns. I don't actually have to look. It took me long enough, but yeah, so I've got this lovely pile of dishcloths. I don't know if you're making along with me. But I'm very excited I thought I'd just do these up in a ribbon and put them on the side, and they're going to come into use in the kitchen after you take the decorations down in January, because I felt last year once I took the decks down that it felt really bare. I thought it'd be really lovely to have some new bits and pieces for it. So I thought, oh, I know, I'm just going to, I don't know why I felt the need to do that. I felt the need apparently to reverse the colours. What was that about? But yes, when it was all, we'd taken all the decks down, it felt really bad. So I thought, why not knit some dishcloths? So we're going to have a dishcloth a month. So theoretically by January there should be 12. Making good progress. Very pleased with those. So that's that one. We're fair running through this podcast this week, aren't we? My next finished object is possibly no surprise because this was supposed to be a finishing object last week and I missed. So these are my leaf pile socks. They're just plain vanilla socks, but the yarn is called Leaf Pile and it is from Blue Fern Yarns. It's a tweed. I thought it was lovely and autumnal. There are in fact 2 of them. So these have also been a long time in the making. I think they're so long I don't think they're in this book. I don't know if they're in my other one, but they're definitely not in this one. No, these haven't made it into either of my journal. This was a purchase at the Southern Wool Show, so possibly 2021, 2022, quite a while. Was it the same year I got my Hide and Hammer bags, I wonder? I can't remember, but it was a while ago and I finally got them finished. I cast them on at the show, so if I can work out which show it was, I might have to look back on my podcast. I'd be able to work out the year. I'll be able to work out when I cast them on, so I need to do some work on that as to when I cast them on. But they're just a plain vanilla sock. I have done a garter ridge heel on them, wedge toe, 2x2 twisted rib, and yeah, they're going to be lovely and cozy for this weather. I'm very much looking forward to wearing these, so I'm glad they've got them off the needles because now I can put them on my feet. So that's that one. My next one's living in a autumnal bag, which I believe is from Craft House Magic. And is also a finished object. This was from week 2 of the Lay Family Yarn Advent last year, and is hot chocolate at the Christmas market. And it's a 55% BFL, 25% silk, and then a mulberry and a baby cereal alpaca and mulberry silk. So very, very lovely yarn. So that's the DK. So it was a DK, and that's the floof. And I did a Tchaikovsky hat. Pom-pom came with it too. Okay, yep, there's a Tchaikovsky hat. And this hat has been done forever, but I hadn't got round to putting the pom-pom on it. So I've literally this week got round to putting the pom-pom on it. So that's going to go to its new owner. And yeah, very pleased with that. Want to knit all the hats. I just want to sit and knit hats. I think it might be my new obsession. I really love the Tchaikovsky hat, and it's really annoying because obviously I would like to knit other hats, but it's just every time I do, I was like, oh, I wish I would knit the Tchaikovsky hat because I just love the pattern. It's just such a simple pattern. It's just the odd pearl bump, which is very difficult to see in this yarn because it's variegated, and it's all this twisted rib at the bottom. Yeah, and it's literally a DK held with a floof. So it's got a bit of a halo. But yeah, it's ever so pretty. And then this is a Crafty Bird pom-pom. So that's going to go off to its new owner hopefully this week, as long as I can get my act together. And I did buy myself some 40cm Chalgu 4.5mm needles. I know this should go in part as acquisitions, but I want to put it in this bag because I've got the smaller ones for the 3.5, but I hadn't for the 4.5, so I treated myself to a pair of needles. And I would like to be permanently knitting a hat at the moment. I'd quite like that as a kind of go-to project, so I need to set that up. I need to find my pom-poms. I need to find I'd like to do it in, I'm quite happy with the cereal alpaca or either of the mohairs, but I would like to do it in cash merino because I think a cash merino hat is just so luxurious. So I need to find those. Once I get my snippet series done, that won't be a problem, but it's going to take me a long while to get that done. The first one of the new craft room boxes will be out on Wednesday. It's not very good, so I apologise. It's not the best one, but it explains a lot about how I'm going to record my yarn, how I'm going to take the inventory of it. So bear with it. That hopefully after that it should get a lot more exciting. But so that's my other, is that my last finished object? That is my last finished object. So a pair of socks, a dishcloth, a vest and a hat. That's not bad for a week, is it? Also, my plan of recording these a day sooner went completely out of the window, and I'm actually recording a day later because I got sick during the week, so I couldn't record the podcast. So I'll have to start that from next week. So next week it'll have to be next Friday, and we'll have to just walk it that way and then go from there, because I think that's going to be the best way of doing it. Okay, whips. Let's get my whips. Okay, so whips. My first one hanging out in here is my Debbie Abrahams mystery blanket I'm making for a friend, and I have finished the square I was on. So I was doing this square, so that's completed. Very pleased with that. Ends are all sewn in. It had an awful lot of ends because the hearts are intarsia. So on this we've got beading, intarsia and colour work. Just all they need to do is throw in a cable and a bit of lace and we had the whole lot. So the next one is one of these, and I've already got that all threaded up with its beads. So I'm ready to go as soon as I can, as soon as I want to start knitting this. I am at the moment at weekends working on my sewing project, which I'm going to show you in a moment. So I will cast this on Monday. My aim is to try and get at least a square of this done a week. When it's a highly complicated square like that, it's going to be a single square, but hopefully, because this one actually doesn't look it, but it's actually quite easy, and I'm about to do that again on the top here. Hopefully I'll get 2 done. I don't know whether there's another one of those is on the next one. And that's just mostly beadwork. I don't think that would be a particularly long one. Those are a bit longer. They're not horrendous. So we will see. We'll see next week how many I have done, whether I've managed 1 or 2. But obviously doing that, it takes up quite a lot of my knitting time. So it makes the podcast a little bit boring if that's all I've got to show to knit. But if it is, that's it. We're going to go with it now. So that's just going to hang out in here, and I will be able to cast it on and get on with it. Right, my next whip is a sewing whip. I decided, I have this book which is Tilda Homemade and Happy, and I wanted to make, I don't even know whether I should show you this because it's so not going to be what I end up making, but I want to make him. Won't be the same colours because I'm going red and white, but I want to make him. He is a lot of work, as I am finding out. Obviously I'm a very novice sewer and I've never made anything like this before, ever. So we're starting big, shall we say. And last weekend, this is going to be so fascinating to show you, I cut out the body parts for the Santa. So I've got this is the Santa's body, which I am going to stitch this weekend. If I can get this stitched with its arms and legs attached to it, that will be a good weekend, because I've discovered how long this has taken me hand stitching it. Yes, you can do it on the machine. No, I'm not doing it on the machine because me and my machine do not like each other. I've used freezer paper that you can iron on to make the pattern. And I've set up a little trolley with all the bits and pieces in I need. So I've got 2 legs that are done, and I have 2 arms that are done. Turns out for me the most difficult part of this was turning these things back round the right way. If anybody's got a neat trick for that, let me know, because I've tried the trick in the book and yes, it worked, obviously, because it's happened, but oh my goodness, it took forever. So yeah, these are the 2 arms and they are the 2 legs, and that's what I managed to cut out the pieces last week for the body. This is just for the body, didn't cut out the pieces for the clothes, just for the body. And that's all I got done. It did take me a long while, but I've learned a lot of lessons on these limbs. And although they're not perfect, I don't think they need to be perfect. I think they're going to be okay without being perfect. So we will attach these to these, and yeah, that's going to be this weekend's job. So it's kind of living, at least the pattern pieces are living in this bag, which is just a zip bag from Amazon. And then I'm actually using my Christmas, this was from So Sweet Violet last year, part of their advent. I'm actually using that for sort of the rest of it. But yeah, I'm sort of determined to get this done. And I know I get determined and then I'm like, oh, I will get this done, and we'll get this done. And then I kind of fall off the wagon. So we will see. But I would really like to get this done. So that's the limbs. They're living in here because they're so big. They don't fit in the other one. I've got like a little iron and a ironing board and stuff, so I can press these things before I start sewing them. So that's why that's living in here, because it actually doesn't fit in the other bag. And yeah, so this weekend I just want to get the legs and the arms attached if I can. And I don't know. We will see. We will see. There are many, many other things I want to make in here. This is a lovely book. But we're taking it literally one page at a time. And not rushing. I think that's the key to it. So that's it. That's the end of my crafting content. I have got an acquisition. It is a sewing acquisition. Apart from buying all of like the skin fabric that I needed for my Santa and my stuffing and my wadding, I also bought some material. So Tilda very kindly worked out that I decided it was Christmas and I wanted to make a Santa, so they released all their Christmas fabric. I literally looked and went, well, that was good timing, wasn't it? How do I know this? Because I wanted to buy the buttons. I wanted some buttons to go down the front of this. So yeah, do you see he's got buttons down the front of him? So I wanted some Tilda buttons. So of course I searched Tilda buttons, and then this set came up. So basically it's the full range of the Christmas release Tilda fabric with the Christmas buttons. It was a kit. It worked out a little bit cheaper to buy it as the kit. And I think what I might try and do is make a Christmas quilt with the leftovers, because I'm going to have a lot of leftovers. But let's just show you. So these are the buttons. I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet. I haven't decided. I may mix and match from both packets because there is a second packet. Are they the same size? Or are they slightly different sizes? Oh, they're slightly different sizes. Didn't realise that. Okay, so they're smaller. And then these are the two packs that came out. I am not undoing these, I'm sorry, but I will give you a good look at it. Let's do it that way around, then you can, no, actually that is the better way around. Let's see if I can move you down to this end. There we go. So we've got all of these. My Santa's going to have a red and white theme because I want him to hang in the kitchen. So it will be the redder fabrics. I like that one. I also like the blue ones. And then we've obviously got the green. So that's that pack. And then there is this pack too. They are different. And there is a lot of fabric in this. So if I do that, can I flip the corners? Can you see them? Yes, you can. Let's just do that then. There are so many of these. I don't think I'll be able to do it all from one end. I might have to whip it over and do it from the other side as well. That's a nice one. So a lot of these are double because that's the way it's folded. Right, let's see if I can do it from, right, you're definitely not gonna, hold on, let's see if I do it that way, whether you can see it. Sorry, I'm not getting these out because I will never get them back as neat as this again. They're very pretty. Let's see if we can do it from this side now. Actually, holding this is heavy. This is a nice one, isn't it? Sorry, I did that awkwardly. There we go. Showing this really badly. I think that's back to pretty much where we were. So yeah, that's that one. So I've got those and these. And like I said, not undoing these because I'll never get them back like that. So I bought that little set. There are other things in there I'd like to make that are Christmas, so we'll see how much of this we use, and then I'm going to try and keep the offcuts, I think, and make a English paper pieced quilt with it. Maybe I'll get the might get a backing for it, a plain backing, and get the hexiforms and do quilt as you go, because that could be quite fun. Especially if I get that blue colour. But we'll see. I make these plans in my head and they never happen. So that's it for my acquisitions. No yarny acquisitions this week, I'm afraid. It all went on sewing ones instead. So this, I think that's it to show you this week. I have no clue, now that I finished all of these, what I'm going to work on. I think I'd like to get my Wintersole out, because obviously it's winter. It would be quite nice to get that finished this year. So I think I need to try and find that. I'm guessing in the sideboard, because I think that'd be a nice garment to put in place of this. If I remember rightly, I'm either on sleeves or I am just on going round and round on the body. I need to work that out. So if I'm just going round and round on the body, that's got to be nearly finished. So let's have a look at that. Maybe that will come out next week. Obviously I want to do my square for the blanket. I want to do the hats. I need to find some yarn for the hats. Yeah, got plans, just none of it's sort of set up and ready to go. So that's another plan I have this weekend. Although I want to sew my Santa, I also want to set up anything I want to knit next week, so it's ready to go. Right, I think all that being said, I'm done. So I hope you're all okay wherever you are. Take care, and I'll see you next week.